We live in a time in which we're constantly faced with pressures, the pressures of our faith and the pressures of secular society.
America has to talk about these issues of hunger, of prisoners, of refugees.
Issues of human life.
Stem cell research, the war in Iraq.
The issues about which American Catholics are most concerned.
Immigration or homelessness or welfare.
Roe v. Wade.
Human rights, human trafficking.
Racism.
Unemployment and the need for development in Mexico.
War and peace.
Climate change.
The new atheism.
Healthcare.
Nuclear disarmament.
These are issues of justice.
America Magazine's mission is to put into contemporary language the meaning of the gospel and some of the implications of the gospel.
America was started out of the vision of Father Wynne, but also I think out of the vision of Rome, that the United States needed an intellectual journal where cultural and political issues could be viewed from a Catholic point of view.
It was a new audience of literate readers who not only wanted but really needed a journal that could provide them with a religious take on the world around them.
In 1909, the editors chose the name America for their fledgling review for two reasons. Number one, to indicate the topic of the magazine, which was in fact America, or the Church in America. And second, to say that the American Catholic Church had really arrived on the scene.
You know, when St. Ignatius founded the Society of Jesus, he had a very different vision for religious life than those that came before him. And his vision for religious life was not a walled monastery on the outskirts of a city, although that was important. His ideal of religious life was a group of men who would be engaged in the arena at the center of the city, addressing the city's social concerns, addressing its most pressing problems.
The magazine has looked a lot at sort of the big life questions, the decisions that individuals and governments have to make about health care, about the environment, about when to go to war, about how to care for one another.
In that sense, America is profoundly Ignatian. It finds itself daring to challenge, asking important questions, and providing a much-needed voice.
There can be differences among Catholics in their particular views on things.
Some people define Catholic very narrowly to one or two issues. You know, whether it's abortion, gay marriage, stem cell research, or what. America tried to take the comprehensive view to Catholic social teaching and to the faith.
It's a magazine with a great history.
If you go through the America Magazine card file, the author file, you can find in there some amazing writers who have just done one or two pieces for us over the years, and then you have some who wrote for us over and over and over again.
Chesterton and Belloc were both contributors to America in its early days.
In the card file, we had Dorothy Days writing one article, but we did a little research and we found out she wrote for us 5 times over the course of the 1930s.
Flannery O'Connor and Thomas Merton wrote for us. John Kennedy wrote for us.
America was founded to be a voice in the world, a voice talking about issues that face the world. And, you know, from the very beginning, you know, those were issues like anti-Catholicism. They were issues of the rise of Nazism and communism. You know, from 1909, you know, the McCarthy era.
One of the shining moments, although it may have cost a job, was when Father Hartnett criticized Senator McCarthy for his witch hunts.
Somebody shot a hole in our front door one time over that.
John Lafarge, though he was editor-in-chief only for a short time, made an enormous contribution because of his interest in race relations and in the early stages of Christian-Jewish dialogue.
At the core of Catholic social teaching is not a programmatic agenda, but a set of questions that any society, any group of individuals has to ask themselves. And that is, first and foremost, who is the human person? What is the nature of the human person? For what is the human person destined? How we answer that question will answer the question about what duties and obligations we have to that person. In short, what duties and obligations we have to one another in constructing a society. And those are the questions that concern America.
America Magazine is a place where the church and the world can meet.
I think what America does best is it stands at the intersection of the church and the world and helps to direct people.
I think America takes complex topics that affect decisions that individuals and government units make and puts them in a context, and that context reflects gospel values and the Catholic tradition.
It should help people to understand the world as seen by believing Catholics.
We look at the world around us, whether there's a war on, whether there's an election on, whether there are certain currents being discussed, the culture wars, those kinds of things.
Through the lens of faith, to see it through the eyes of Christ, to see what's happening around the world, whether it's warfare or refugees or hunger or AIDS or life issues, all of these things, to reflect on them in a Christian way. That's what America's all about.
It is a journal of Catholic opinion.
It's important to have news reports, it's important to have commentary on political events, but to be able to listen to someone that you might not normally hear from about their personal experience of God can be really transformative for our readers.
It's also about helping people to come together around issues and to pursue them together.
My goal is to try to help people to understand better, whether through interviews, editorials, OMTs, or whatever, the issues that most impact poor people of the world.
We want to explain how Christians can respond to problems in the world. It's not just a description of the state of the world, but courses of action that can be taken that are of interest to us.
I think the question that America covers that most concerns me is how do we construct a moral and just society, right, that is also free and democratic. And this question is not only relevant to Americans, it's the question that faces the world.
America Magazine does have several constituencies, and it does address more than just church people and more than just Catholics.
We have to develop a means of communication where we can be faithful to the church on the one hand, and on the other hand, allow the kind of interaction with people who are less and less knowledgeable, Catholics and outsiders who are interested in the church.
I think that America has the opportunity to fill in some gaps in the education level of committed Catholics, and to also provide some opportunities for them to give feedback in a way that they can be heard and their voice can be acknowledged in the church.
And one of the things that I think is of particular importance to America right now is exploring the various new media that are available.
How does America go onto the web? How does it communicate electronically?
The technology is changing constantly.
As we look to the future, we're going to continue to do more multimedia. In addition to the podcast, we'll probably be doing more video. We're hoping to get some more people on our blogs.
The electronic communications, the web, is the equivalent of preaching from the rooftops.
It's important that America not only address the new media as a practical consideration, but that it address it as a cultural and social phenomenon, and that it demonstrate ways of using that new media that enriches the debate rather than further impoverishing it.
The challenge for the magazine is to be that kind of place where Catholics can speak their minds without fear and without premature closure, and that freedom and faith will go together.
We are talking across traditional boundaries of faith and politics.
But still you'll see the vision of the gospel and also the spirit of St. Ignatius guiding all of this, as it has since 1909.
It's a journal of opinion.
It's certainly been a journal of opinion.
America Magazine is a journal of opinion.
A journal of opinion, but it's not a journal of one opinion. America presents the opinions of thinking Catholics.
A forum for different kinds of opinions in the church.
We're a Jesuit journal.
And my goal is to try to help people.
We help people to discern how they're to respond to God's call in the world.
My vision is to get the next generation who will be those leaders committed to America.
I think everything that concerns American citizens is something that concerns America Magazine, and anything that concerns the Catholic Church is something that concerns America Magazine.
This is a great magazine. Buy it.